Hey everyone, it's tarekith again, and I wanted to do another quick Octatrack tutorial. This one I'm going to talk about slicing. Some of this you might recognize from the official Elektron videos, but theirs are kind of short and I wanted to go in a little bit more detail and show how I use this to remix my own song. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how I have this laid out in here. I have 3 tracks right now in the Octatrack. This pattern you might recognize from my last video. So there's the drums on track 1, a bass line on track 2, and like that kind of lead pipe sound on track 3. These are all 4-bar audio loops. You can see over here the scale key, all 4 bars are lit up. And for this lead track, I'll press record. You can see there's just one trigger that's triggering the whole loop, and so that loop gets re-triggered every time the pattern starts over again. So what I'm going to do is I want to slice up this lead sound. I want to use slices so I can kind of remix it and get some weird kind of glitchy sounds going on. So what I'm going to do is listen to the sound first of all in isolation. So it's kind of personal preference, but I'm going to slice this into 8 slices every measure, so 1/8 notes. Just the way the sound is, the loop itself, I think that'll get some good results that way, but this is just what I'm doing. You can do it any way you want. You can do 16ths, you can do quarter notes, whatever, it's up to you. So I'm going to lay down some more triggers really quick. As long as I'm here. Here's a neat trick. If you hold the scale setup button and press record, you can actually copy this page of triggers. So I'll go to the next page, which is blank, and I can hold scale setup again and press stop to paste. And with this method, it's really quick to fill up a whole pattern full of triggers if you're going to be the same thing every single bar. Okay, so that's done. The next thing I need to do is actually slice up that loop. The quickest way to do this, I think, is to double tap the track button and then press function plus bank to get to the edit screen. And here you can see from last week we talked about there's a trim, slice, edit, attributes, and file screens. So I'm going to press amp to make sure that the slice is highlighted and then press enter to go into that menu. And from in here I'm going to create slice grid. Press enter. And this is how many slices. Now I know my loop I said is 4 bars and I want to do 1/8 notes, so that's going to be 32 slices so that the bar is still, that loop still fits all 4 bars evenly. So 32 slices, hit enter. Here you have an option to align markers to 0 crossings. So it'll make a slice point at 0 crossings in the audio file so you don't get clicks and pops. The downside of this is sometimes it'll have to move those slice markers pretty far before it finds a 0 crossing, so you might lose some of your timing. So if you do it with 0 crossings and the timing sounds weird, just go back in here and redo it, but this time select no. I'm going to go ahead and select yes though, and it makes all the slices. Now if I play it now, those triggers are just triggering that first slice every single time, which is pretty boring. I don't want to do that. So slice is still selected. I'm going to press enter again. And then I'm going to scroll down and create linear locks is the first option we're going to look at. What this will do is it'll map each successive slice to the next trigger on your track. So press enter, alter trigs, that's kind of a warning. Hit yes, and then if I play this, so as you can hear, it basically mapped out the exact same melody as it was in the audio file, except now it's sliced up. And this is cool because you can do things like shorten the amp envelope for every single slice. Make it a little more staccato. That's one fun trick. But another thing we can do with slicing, if we get back into our slice menu, instead of creating linear locks, I can create random locks. So we'll just randomly assign slices to every single trigger in the pattern for that track. So let's do that. Alter trigs again, yes. So you can hear it's all mixed up, it's all randomized. The cool thing here is you can just keep hitting enter over and over again, and it remembers that you're on the randomized page, so you can quickly just try different randomizations out while it plays. Okay, so let's say, just for the sake of this tutorial, that I really like what I heard on this first bar, the first bar of the pattern with this last randomization. One cool trick you can do here, while still in the slice screen, is go ahead and go back into hit record, I'm going to bring your trigs up again, and you can actually copy this page like I showed you last time, or earlier in the tutorial. If you hold down the scale setup key and press record, you can copy the page, and while still on the slice screen, you can paste that first measure into all the other measures if you want. So you can play around that way. You have the freedom to edit your triggers, but you can still play around with like randomizing the slices over and over again. And usually with a few different iterations of that, you can come up with some pretty cool sounding stuff. So something a little different than I started out with. Go back to this little staccato bit. So anyway, just some fun little things you can do there with slices. It's important to remember that you don't actually have to make a slice grid that corresponds to the triggers you set down either. Say you lay down eighth note triggers, you can do slices that are only 16ths or 30 seconds or anything you want, and vice versa. You can slice notes into quarter notes but put down 16th note triggers if you want. So there's a lot of different ways to take an audio loop and deconstruct it just using slice mode. Anyway, that's about it. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. Otherwise, look forward to the next video I do. Thanks.